audio and the visual is like. My sincere apologies that the other live stream, well, didn't go out. I had to restart all over again. So there's probably some other people, viewers, waiting for that one to start. I don't know. Really annoying. Thanks, YouTube. And they've really messed up the live stream thing, in my opinion. It worked brilliantly before, and now it's all different. And I have to almost, it seems to stall out at the end. I have to abort and go back, and then it shows the right screen, and then I can go live. Anyway, how are you guys? I'm knackered. Absolutely bollocks, to be perfectly honest. Yes, sorry, YouTube, if you don't allow that word, but I am. Been very busy. Been away in, where did I go? I went to Taronga, on the East Coast for a day. And that was on Monday, and then snuck off down to Whakatane. That's not a swear word. Whakatane. 2 days down there, doing some training. Came home, had a day in the workshop. A day in the office, actually, doing some admin work, submitting some reports and things. And then Ben came down extremely late on Friday night. He arrived about midnight. We'd given up. Me and Mrs. Mechanic were in bed. That's it. Game over. Too late. And he had a shower. And then we were all very, very, very late getting out of bed in the morning. And then yesterday, we managed to get an RoV put back together. Yes, one of the 850s. And, oh man, the panels on them are an absolute pain. They really are to put back on. But anyway, we got it all done. And then Ben, he got some more stuff put in his shed. I've got some photos for you. I'll look at those later on. And he went back to Auckland. Yes. So me and Mrs. Mechanic watched Clarkson's Farm 3, Diddley Squat Farm, Series 3. We could only get 4 episodes here. I don't know how many there's supposed to be, but we watched all 4. But it's a bit of a cliffhanger at the end. So I think there might be some more episodes. I hope there is. It's very good. Not too sure it's as good as the second one, though, to be fair. Anyway, that's for you to decide. I enjoyed it very much, and it's great to see Mr. Clarkson doing other stuff. Anyway, Simon Rawle is in the workshop. Morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, Simon. Welcome back, mate. Hope all is well in your neck of the woods. Roger Heaps. Good morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, Roger. Hope all is well down in sunny Invercargill. The Giants. Good evening, Andy and crew. How is everyone doing? Watching from South Africa. Well, the Giants, I'm all right. I've got one more RoV to fix today. No videos, sorry. Still busy trying to just clear the decks and give myself a few days where I can smash out some videos for you. Very much looking forward to it, actually. Got lots planned, as always. This other RoV is one that's been kicking around for nearly 5 months in the garden. I did all the service work on it. It's one of the Surf Club machines. And, oh, what have we got? And it needs a, nothing. Oh, hang on. No, it is important. Oh, what? You have 2 live streams on your channel and people are waiting in the other one. Well, there's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. Mrs. Mechanic's like going, what's going on? But I don't think I've got to, just bear with me. This is just confusing as always. Right. I think we need to get rid of that one. I don't know. No, I'm just going to leave things as they are. They'll have to work it out. Things do go wrong. Oh, jeez. Even the laptop's playing up now. And I was asked for many, many passwords this morning when I loaded up. Seems very strange. But anyway. Okay, well, if it's just me and all 12 of you, it is the way it is. But anyway, she needs to go get some cigarettes. Go and get some cigarettes, Mrs. Mechanic. Run out. So, anyway, when we were servicing it, it turned out very quickly that the tray, it's a 3-seater with a tray on the back, and they've kept it way too long. They use it on a beach like all the surf clubs. And It was rotten. It was absolutely rotten. Now, I've come across it once before on a six-seater a couple of years ago, and there was no stock of trays. So I had to make one. Basically, I just cut, I think, the top 6 inches of the tray off, used that as a base, as a starting point, and completely remade everything below that point. It was a massive job, and I couldn't really charge him all my time and stuff. But it got the machine fixed, undersealed it all. It looked great, did the trick, and I'm sure it'll last quite a long time. And then they got it sold. This time round, I said, no, I'm not doing that. I said, I've told you all to sell these machines after 3 years. This one's nearly 5 years old. It's inevitable what's going to happen, you know? So we'll just order a new tray, and when it arrives, we'll fit it and I'll bring it back to you. 5 months. Yeah. So we've got the tray now. I want to get it fitted. I did order 2 trays, so I've got one for stock as well. Don't want to be in the same predicament again. And to be fair, they're not that expensive. The trays are really well priced, considering how large they are and the fact they've got to come all the way from the US. So obviously the manufacturer doesn't make a lot of money out of them, I don't think. It's probably a lost leader. But what's this? Simon. It was just the thumbnail that was updated. Simon, sorry, it's not. You do have 2 multitasking at its best. We've got 2 live streams going at once from one phone. How is that possible? I don't know. Both with the same. Who's on this one? This is the first. The Real Daz, Morning Andy and crew. But that one's waiting. It says on here it's waiting for Andy Mechanic. Okay. Thanks, Simon. Appreciate that, mate. Right, well, I'm going to... Chaos as always. I just need a pie. I think that's the one we need. Okay. Right. Hopefully the Real Daz is going to join us shortly. Thumbnail is of outside. It is. That's right. Kavorka Designs. So, have some photos for you. We got Ben's shed finished. All the exterior stuff's done. You can see the doors are on there. And all the concreting is done. We got the last pad. Got a pad done on Saturday, pad done on Sunday. Ben started filling it up on Thursday, but only put stuff in there on the older pads, which was good. I said, stay off that last pad and about a week. Anyway, Saturday morning, which was not quite a week, in the stuff went. So I'm going to show you some pictures. Bear with me. Bom, 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 bom. Get rid of the coffee because it's cold anyway. Turn you round. Right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Boom. And my sincere apologies about all the live stream issues this morning. You know what the hell was going on. Thank you, YouTube. Really appreciate it. Can you see there? Yeah, you can see. We can zoom in a bit anyway. So this is looking from the doors, obviously. There is still a bit of... Oh, what happened there? There is still a bit of space in there. There you go, look. But it's pretty damn full, isn't it, to be fair? And I'm sure Ben won't mind me sure. I couldn't show you all the area because there's a motorcycle in there that you're not allowed to see. No, I'll get into big trouble if that goes out live. Yes, Andy gets his knuckles wrapped every single time, and it's so annoying. Anyway, such is life. Old frame from DR200. I think that was the original frame from the farm special, and then we put the trail bike frame on. So I've kept it. But there you go, bit of house furniture. And Ben's workshop, very sad really, Ben's workshop in boxes again. But he'll get sorted out, and now at least he's got a permanent workshop that he can come down whenever he wants. He's welcome whenever he likes. He knows that, he's our lad. So he can come down whenever he likes and relax and, do whatever he wants to his workshop, and it'll be there forever. It's his. It's nobody else's. And, it's not rented, so it's not going to get taken away or him having to leave the property. Right, turn you around, 3, 2, 1, boom. Because one of the biggest problems, bear with me, one of the biggest problems here in New Zealand with rented properties is the landlords are extremely greedy and the rental prices go up big time year on year. There's a huge increase. Housing's in very, very much a short demand. High demand. There's a huge shortage. And what they seem to do, the landlords, is keep people moving around. So they terminate the current contract, and by doing that, then they can hike up the rent to whatever they want and then re-advertise. So as soon as your year's up, they go, nope, I'm going to sell the place, which is a valid reason for getting you out. So off you go and find somewhere else. And then they put it back on the market as a rental for another $200 or $300 a month rental price. And this happens every year on year, on the majority of properties. And the rental agencies, like, well, I won't name them because, they might get a bit grumpy, but there's companies like Harcourts, Bailey's, and many others around New Zealand. And I don't know if this is the same in the UK. We did rent in the UK, but we rented direct with the owner, which wasn't a problem. Not normally anyway, pretty good. And the rental company does not consider the tenant as the customer. No. The tenant is purely a necessary evil to get money for their client, who is the person that owns the property. And as tenants on a regular basis, you get the runaround. They're just not interested. And my experience here in New Zealand of renting properties has been horrific. Now, one might say, well, it might be down to a bad tenant, Mr. Young. Maybe you are the bad tenant. Maybe your family just destroy houses. Well, that's not the case. We rented houses for many, many years in the UK and never had any real problems. Yeah, sure, there was the odd little grievance where, hey, your dishwasher stopped working. Would you mind fixing it? And a year later, it gets fixed. But, in the main, not our problem, right? It just broke. It's their problem. The house came with a dishwasher. It should work. And there was a property here in New Zealand, Greenhithe it was, and there's a video on the channel of this. And I think it's the first video I ever uploaded, nothing to do with mechanics. And there's we've got this house, and there's a huge kitchen area, stroke lounge, and we'd opened up the roof tents in the lounge to dry them out because we'd taken them off the patrol. And they were in there for a few weeks, and we had a horrific rainstorm, and it started to rain in the house. Yes, between the two roofs, the way that they'd built the house, it was all like extensions on extensions. It was crap. There was an internal gutter, and of course the rainstorm overwhelmed the internal gutter, and then the excessive water then came inside the house, and that's on that video. It's quite funny. Dig it out. It's probably had about 4 views. It was never intended for the public. It was there just to pass that on to the rental agency. Anyway, enough of renting houses, because that's not what we're here to do. But anyway, I don't know how on earth we got onto that subject. But Ben is a lot happier and a lot less stressed. They gave the keys back yesterday for the house. It's all been cleaned. He's got all his stuff out. He had to go to the tip a couple of times with junk, and it wasn't all his. Most of it was his flatmates, just to get rid of it. Good lad. He sorted it out. It's done. He can now focus on a bit of relaxation. He's got today off. He's not doing anything today. Might go for a walk somewhere or maybe the movies. And then next week he can get back and focus on his job, because don't forget, he's just changed jobs as well. And it's not great for a new employer having this stressed lad, trying to panic in and having to do all this extra work on an evening and stuff, because he comes into work tired. It's not a good look. So hopefully he can get back on track now. Now, thank you, Simon, for the dual live stream stuff. I don't think the other one, I think it's sat there in abeyance. It hasn't actually triggered as a live stream. It's not rolling, so to speak. So hopefully people will come across this one. I have no idea what's happened with YouTube this morning. I did have to set up a second live stream. The first one just had the wheel of death, so I just gave up, and I aborted it. So I don't know why it's still showing. But anyway, now then. Oh, cheers, mate. Thank you, Simon. I'll redirect people to this live stream. You're a top bloke. This way, people, through the left gate. Don't go through the right gate, because he's not there. Perfect. Vajayant, this looks like my shed. Not much space to move inside. At the moment, it's a storage facility, right? Yes, it's a shed. It's not a workshop. It's been built as a workshop, but at the moment, all Ben had time to do was get everything in there and make it secure. So it's all dry. It's not going to go anywhere, and he can relax. Over the next few months, he'll go through and He's got to panel all the internal walls. I've got him a window to go in the shed as well. Whether he's going to put it or not, I don't know, but he's got one if he wants it. He's got all the electrics to do, some lighting to put in, some sockets to put up once he's done the paneling. We don't like putting wires behind wooden panels. We do all our wiring surface wiring. Bit more commercial. It's easier to modify and adapt and find faults. So he'll be doing all of that and putting some sockets up and bits and pieces. But like me, in the past, all we've ever done is put up lights with plugs on them, so you can plug them into a multi-board and use multi-boards and extension leads. Nothing's ever been permanent. And still, the only permanent power supply that I've got here in this workshop is the 15 amp supplies that we put in for the MIG and the air compressors, one there and 3 amps, 3 under the carport. And the MIG one, which is the 40 amp supply. That's just down there, which is brilliant, by the way. All the other stuff is still just, lights with a wire and a plug on, and lots of extension leads laced through the roof onto multi-board, and it's horrific, to be fair. One day I'll get around to fixing it. Anyway, we need to get the pie in the pie warmer because Andy's got quite a bit of work to do today, and I'm also very hungry. So this is a Ponsonby Pies steak and cheese pie. Sorry if I'm coming across a little bit Clarkson today, but I did watch quite a few of Jeremy's season 3 Clarkson Farm, Diddley Squat Farm, last night on Mrs. Mechanic. Very good, Jeremy. Do like it. I really enjoy that series. It's great to see Jeremy in a very different light, away from, well, it's still sort of, there's a few engines and stuff involved, but it's not the automotive stuff that we're used to. And I can't cope with does he do that? He does that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire thing on TV as well. Not into that. Don't watch that kind of stuff. Mrs. Mechanic does. I don't. But no, Clarkson's Farm, great, and doing a great thing for UK farming as well. Showing people just how hard it is to try and make some money. It's got a number on the back. Never seen that. Handwritten 1320. What could that mean? Could that mean it went into a pie warmer at 1:20 in the afternoon? I think it does. Right. Okay, here we go. Boom! Oh, I used the change screens soundbite there, didn't I? Right, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. It's quite small. Right, okay, so top. Put pastry on top, sides. I didn't even know we had this one. I don't even know where it's come from. I wonder if Ben's bought it. Award-winning pastry. We will find out whether that's a justified award. Right, to the pie warmer. 3, 2, 1, boom. Okay, and my sincere apologies to anybody that went to the other live stream. Apologies on behalf of YouTube for messing up the first one. Honestly. Anyway. It's nothing to worry about. 23 minutes on the pie warmer. No, I've not cleaned it. Good luck, little pie. Make me happy and not hungry anymore. Okay. Oh, jeez, cut the tripod. Right. Had a bit of a tidy up now that we've finished doing stuffs. So the go-kart is, well, I haven't done any more work to it, but it's ready for some more work. That's one of the videos that I intend to do. I want to get the frame finished, get it welded up, and then it can go back to Jared. And so it's all reassembled and stuff, and he can paint it and then it can come back. But I've also got, don't forget, we've got different engine mounts to make. We're going to fit a Suzuki DR200 engine to the go-kart, and obviously I've got all the front end to rebuild, and it needs a clutch, so we've got to put an extra pedal on there. It only had a throttle and a brake. We now need to give it 3 pedals. God knows how we're going to do that, but anyway. And it's going to have a manual clutch because the Suzuki DR200 is a 5-speed manual gearbox. And then it will be brilliant. Be able to go up steep hills and go fast and do burnouts and all that kind of thing, which would be brilliant. The kids, I don't know how old they are, but they'll have a great time driving it. And I'm sure Jared will be jumping in it as well. So I might have to... Jared's a big lad like me, so we might have to just strengthen the chassis up a little bit in places, but we'll see. Oh yes, and I tidied up my clamps. they were all in the way, so I've just hung them up there for now. I need a more dedicated place for clamps. You know, it's not ideal up there. And what else? Oh, I've not found a home for all the screws yet. This is what we had left over from doing Ben's shed. Little bits and pieces, all that one. These are home somewhere, but everything's full. Left me parts out for this RoV that I'm doing today. And that's probably about it, really. Yeah, I think we're about there. There's, you know, things are just winding down and clearing the decks a little bit for doing some more videos, which will be great. It will. Yes, I know. It's a bit of a mess, isn't it? God damn it. I still haven't plumbed in my bloody thingamajig for taking moisture out of the airline. $2,000 that cost. I still haven't plumbed it in yet. Mrs. Mechanic likes to remind me. Oh, Ben gave me a vise. Look at that. An old vise. So that needs cleaning up and restoring one day. So I'll keep all of that. But yeah. Right. You might have noticed that Andy's not had a cigarette yet. Well, the reason for that is Andy's run out of cigarettes. Yes. Smoked them all last night and didn't have time this morning to go and get some more. So I was hoping that Mrs. Mechanic would go and get some more for me this morning, because the petrol station opens at 8 o'clock. Has she gone for... I do normally watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Yes, she does. That's right. Hang on. Pies from Ben. Thank you, Ben. But I don't know where he got it from. We're going to have to message him and find out, or Mrs. Mechanic can find out what the pie server attractiveness level was for our scores. Can't spell cigarettes. There we go. Right. Oh, it's been a long week. It really has. Tired. Anyway, how was your week? Tell me all about your week, and then I'll tell you what I have planned for next week. Oh, Mrs. Mechanic, my coffee's cold as well. Now then. Roger Heaps, hit the like button, chaps. Yes, thank you, Roger. Appreciate that. Simon had a snapped tap to get out of an engine block. Nasty. Speaking to a retired engineer about it. Mind-blowing to find out a diamond tip tile hole saw will drill them. Was slow going, but did the job. Wow, something I would never have thought of using. That's pretty cool. I do have a couple of the hole saws that have got the sort of diamond dust on them. And we used those when we were doing the bathroom years and years ago. When we converted it, well, we had to gut it all and completely redo the inside of the house. Cost a fortune, anyway. And I had some holes to drill through the... We made the bathroom into a wet room. And obviously, so the tiles always the ceiling. And I had to drill through some of the tiles for the plumbing and stuff, you know, for the shower and things. So that's all I've got. That's the only diamonds you'll find in my workshop, I'll tell you that. So next week. Next week's a bit of a weird week because it's going to be a good week, actually. It's going to feel a bit like a holiday because partly it is. Monday, I'm going to be at home doing admin work because I've still got quite a few reports to do from all the visits that I've done to motorcycle shops this year already. I've managed to catch up to some extent, done a lot of visits in the last few weeks, and still got a fair few more to do, but I am getting there. But every visit triggers 2 reports that I have to submit. And some of those reports, well, one of the reports relies on information from the owner of the shop. And unless I get that, I can't do the report. It's really, I just can't submit it. Simple as that. So I did probably 6 or 7 on Friday. And I've got another 4 that I can do straight away. So I'll get those done Monday. And then I think there's 4 more that are waiting for this information that I need. Once they're in, I can get those done as well. And then I've only got, I think, about another 8 or 9 visits to do in the North Island, which I'll be doing 5 of those. the week after, so week 2, the week before the next live stream, I'll be away, which would be great to get those sorted out. It's quite a good little run. I get on with I get on with all the dealers, to be fair, but it's quite a nice little run down there. End up going through Wanganui, stay in Wanganui for the night it's quite a nice. It's a pub that does accommodation, so you can have a few pints and then stagger to your room. It's quite good. No driving required. I do like that. Now, so Monday reports. Tuesday, I'm on the road. I've got a visit to do on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm on leave. Yes, got 3 days off work. Fantastic. So the Wednesday, the reason for this is the Wednesday is my youngest daughter's graduation. Eloise, she has graduated university. I've forgotten what course it was she did. I think it was something to do with biodiversity or where they study impact on the environment from humans. And New Zealand's a good place for that, geology and all that kind of thing. I just don't know, something like that. But she did really well on it, and she's finished it. So congratulations, Ellie. Well done. So up to Auckland for graduation day. It's more of an evening thing. So we've got to be there for 4:30 in the afternoon. So we've got to leave here really about just after lunch, 12:30, 1 o'clock at the latest, really, because parking will be a nightmare as always. And then do the graduation thing, and then Ellie is coming back down to the cottage with us because Mrs. Mechanic and Ellie, and I think Logan's coming as well, are going to go on, this is Thursday morning now, they're going on a hike. Now, they like to go on these hikes, so I'm logistics. I've got to deliver them into the middle of nowhere. So on Thursday morning, we've got to jump in the ute, and I know where I need to go. It's quite a long way into the bush, as we'd call it in New Zealand, and drop them off, and then hopefully they'll be at the extraction point on Saturday. If they're not there, I can't pick them up. They've got a 1 hour window. I haven't told them this yet. They've got a 1 hour window to be at the extraction point. Otherwise, I'll be leaving. Yes, in the best Clarkson accent possible. I'll be back on the roof and I'll head home and, get some tea. And they can find their own way home. I mean, it's only about 200 kilometers, so I'm pretty sure you'll give it another week. They could walk home. No. Mrs. Mechanic and Ellie have been known to be extremely late for their extraction on previous hikes. So I could be camping in the truck that night. Who knows? But anyway, ultimately, we'll end up back at the cottage on the Sunday. And Ben's coming down on the Friday night. So he'll be here doing stuff in his workshop and tidying up and things probably. And then he's going to take Ellie and Logan back to Auckland on the Sunday. So I wanted to do that. It should be great. So that's my sort of week. So Andy, what are you going to do on Friday and Saturday, you ask? Well, I don't know yet. That could be some video stuff. The Friday especially could be a video day. Looking forward to it. I haven't really got anything else planned. And I'll be here on my own with Team Marmite. So there's no reason why I can't do a video or two. No reason at all. My work phone will be turned off. I'm not answering my work phone. I'm on leave. And fingers crossed, all will go to plan. But as you know, plans can change. We'll wait and see. So what have we got to? We've run out of comments. Come on, people. Okay, so I told you what I've been doing, and I've told you what I'm going to be doing. The week after, next week, like I say, I'm off down the west coast of the North Island. I've got to go to Taramanui, and then across to New Plymouth. The road from Taramanui to New Plymouth is a nightmare. It's called the Forgotten Highway for a reason. There's three routes to New Plymouth. The two others are ridiculously far out of the way. The Forgotten Highway is by far the most direct, but it's a twisty country road, and it does have a section of gravel on it. Doesn't bother me at all. Quite happy to use that as my method to get to New Plymouth, as did many of the previous people that went to New Plymouth decades ago. That was the route, so we'll use that. Ooh, Mrs. Mechanic has started up my truck. That might mean that she's off to get some cigarettes. Fingers crossed. Anyway, so get to New Plymouth. A couple of nights there. I'm going to go to Stratford. Going to go to Hawera. Don't know how you pronounce it. That's how I pronounce it. Hawera is sort of on the west coast as it comes round south of New Plymouth. Down there, Hawera. And then from there, about an hour, maybe an hour and a quarter's drive to Wanganui to do, and then I think from that point I then head back north and home. Could have missed out one, not sure. Can't remember quite how I did my schedule. My schedule's all changed because there's different criteria to deal with and stuff. Actually planning my trips now for New Zealand to go and visit these various motorcycle shops because of changes in criteria that I have to adhere to, and changes or increases in the number of shops I have to go and see. It's sort of thrown the whole thing on its head, and it's actually extremely difficult now, based on the geography of New Zealand and where these places are and the road network and what's going on with the roads and stuff. It can prove quite difficult to get them all linked into logical routes which adhere to the other criteria that I've got to work with. So it's a bit of a headache, in all honesty. Jim Haynes. Morning, Jim. Welcome back to the workshop. Jim says, I'm here live today, had 3 race days in a row. Wow. Off until next Friday's race on the 10th. Very cool, Jim. I did see some photos on Facebook, actually, of you stood in front of one of the race cars. Very cool, mate. Very, very cool indeed. It really was. I was quite surprised, actually. We got the message. Oh, hang on. What's this? I don't. Oh, typo. She doesn't watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I thought we did get that. I've seen it here before. Maybe it's on like a Sky English channel or something. I don't know. Maybe we don't get it in the house. Oh well, there you go. Any more information there? Oh yes, there might be a scam going on. I got an email from PayPal asking me to choose a new password. So I don't know what's going on there. Compromised password. They could be right though, because I did look. I went through my PayPal not too long ago, and you can save addresses. You can have different addresses where you can get stuff sent. And there's one for my home address, which is great. There's one for the old PO box, one for the new PO box. There's a couple of our old houses in there, which I don't use them anymore. Obviously, these were rental properties, and then there's one in Algeria or somewhere. Yes, definitely not an address I've ever put in, and somebody has hacked into my PayPal probably around the same time that they hacked my emails and my Facebook and my Instagram, and entered another address. Now, since then, I have changed the password, so there's no chance they can get in now, or as there's probably the same amount of chances they had last time, and if they're lucky, they'll get in. But the address is still there, and I probably intend to send them maybe a gift from Marmite. Could be a good one. We'll see. Probably wouldn't get into the country because it'd be a biohazard, but anyway. Yeah, really, really annoying actually. There seems to be a lot of hacking stuff going on these days, and it just causes massive disruption. I mean, when I fired the laptop up this morning, it said it was Microsoft and it was asking for all sorts of stuff, and I just aborted it all and said, no, you're not having any of that. I just want to use my Chrome and get my live stream fired up. So, most bizarre. Oh, Ben did a service on a motorcycle. Say Ben did a service on it, right? This is funny because it was one of the viewers. I forgot his name actually. Victor was his first name, and he has a classic trail bike that he bought out of Japan. I think it's got like 3,000 kilometers on the clock. It's a 1994 bike, really, really clean, very nice machine. Ben's got a couple of the same model. It's a TT250R Raid from 1995. It's either a 94 or a 95. It's got the purple rims, so it might be a 95. And it had a wiring fault on the indicators, left-hand indicators. One of the left rear wasn't working. It needed an oil and filter change. Needed the chain cleaning, lubing, and adjusting. It wasn't a full-blown service. It wasn't valve clearances. It hadn't done enough work for that. So I said to Ben, I said, "Oh, Ben, you know, I'm really busy. The guy's in Auckland. I'm really busy at the moment, as you know, doing the roof of the workshop. Could you do it?" And he's like, "Yeah, no problem. That's great. Bit of pocket money for him." And Ben's very good at doing that kind of stuff. Equally as good as I am, to be fair. He's been well trained, meticulous. In fact, he is. So he went. A couple of weeks later, he went to go and pick the bike up. The guy wasn't in any kind of a rush. Picked the bike up and brought it here. "Hey, Dad, I picked that bike up. Can you do the service?" "Okay, son, I can do that. No problem." So I do the service. Ben issues the invoice. Ben gets paid. He's got it sussed, hasn't he? He really has. I was just like, what the hell, son? Anyway, he has decided it might be a good idea to pay Dad back for the oil filter and the oil. So that money's on its way, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Anyway, it's all good. It's all good. I don't mind. But it was a bit ironic that I ended up doing the work anyway, even though I was too busy. But it wasn't so bad. That particular day, I wasn't that busy. We were just doing concreting. Ben and Mrs. Mechanic were on with that, and I just basically tinkered in the shed. And the fault with the indicator, by the way, it was just a broken wire. That's all it was. Green crusties, broken wire. So got that. So I took the indicator off. It was the wire on the indicator itself that had failed, not the loom side. So it was only a quick job to clean it up, solder it, bit of heat shrink. Job as a carrot. Because it was such a nice bike, I had to do quite a nice repair on it, so it all still looked original. As luck would have it, I did actually have I've got a set of brand new indicators for that bike, because the manufacturer used the same indicators on a few models, and I think maybe Ben gave me them. Somebody gave me them. I've got a brand new set in the drawer, which may end up on the Ultimate Farm bike, because, well, I stole the flasher relay off one of Ben's other bikes when I was getting the DR200 Farm Special ready for my trip a couple of years ago. And, well, Ben decided to sell the bike that I took the relay off. And he said, "Oi, the indicators don't work. What's going on?" I said, "Oh, borrowed the flasher relay, son." And didn't just borrow the flasher relay, you're going to hate me now, borrowed the 2 bits of wire in the loom as well. Maybe a couple of inches of loom, snippy snip. And then I had the correct connector as well. So I had to snippy snip that back off, and Ben soldered it back into his loom. Terrible, really, Mr. Young. But I was like running out of time. I tried all sorts of other flasher relays I had, and nothing was working. Because, like a numpty, the indicators, the actual holders, the lenses, the indicator itself, not the bulb, I was given those as well. This is before I got given the other ones. They were off a 6-volt bike, and I could only find a 12-volt 5-watt bulb, nothing bigger wattage-wise that would fit in those holders, because there wasn't enough space for a 21-watt bulb. It was fouling the lens. So that's why I had to use an electronic indicator relay as opposed to the old school one. So, yes. Anyway, got it fixed. Had to give Ben his relay back. So those indicators might go on. They take 12-volt bulbs, 21 watts. That's fine. And then I can run a standard indicator relay again. Oh, complicated, I know. Complicated. Simon, what you do is send something with postage underpaid. Then the Algerian gets a bill for unpaid postage. That's genius, Simon. So not only unpaid postage for his dog turd, but also a dog turd as well. That would be great. So yes, I have that to sort out, and I do need to sort out. I'll change my password again on my PayPal, because They can take money straight out of a bank account if they can get in there. So that's not very good, is it? Can't be having that. Oh! Hang on a minute. Hang on. We've got stuff going on. Bear with me. Calm down. Oh, jeez. Right, there we go. Push. Oh my word. Have you been in already? Yes, good job. Well done, honey. Thank you. Right, I'm back. God, I can't believe the pie is still going. Let's go and check on the pie. Hang on a minute. Turning around, 3, 2, 1, boom. It's still ticking. Oh, because we have had a problem with the timer where it's jammed. Remember, it didn't start one day and it would just overcook the pie. Right, it's got a little bit to go. It's got just under a light to go. So probably 2 or 3 minutes. Just enough time for... Yeah, it's a cigarette. Well done, Mrs. Mechanic. Okay, turn you around. Boom, there we go. And I've got a nice hot coffee as well. God, she's good. I tell you, she's a great wife, is Mrs. Mechanic. What a find. I found her playing crazy golf. I know. Bizarre, isn't it? There she was, 15 years old, looking very nice, playing crazy golf next at my Uncle Ted's house, in actual fact. He's passed away now, as Uncle Ted. Sorry, Uncle Ted. Do miss you, mate. I really do. He taught me a lot of stuff. Nice guy. Really nice guy. Yeah, very sad, actually. He meant a lot to me. He used to have the old English motorbikes, BSAs, Nortons. Norton, yeah, he had Norton Cafe Racer. Be worth a bit now on that one. And he had an old scooter as well. He had a BSA Bantam. Don't think he had a Triumph though. Maybe he didn't like Triumphs. Don't know. Can't remember. But anyway, what were we talking about? I can't remember anymore. Simon, if you need connectors for the loom of that year 90s bike, there are Sumitomo MTW. Okay. Oh, look. Let me take a picture of that, Simon. Otherwise, I will forget. Yes. Well, at the time, it was you've got 1 hour before you've got to load up, and these indicators have to work. Because I was booked in for a warrant or something, I don't know. We were really pushed for time. And in the end, I had to wire in a couple more additional bulb holders under the seat with some 21 watt bulbs just to get the flash rate correct for the warrant of fitness. And those bulbs stayed under the seat for the entire trip. And whenever I indicated, they came on as well. So it will look pretty cool at night time with this under seat lighting. Flashing, of course. But yeah, good fun. So what's the plan for today? Well, the plan for today, for those that just joined us, the plan for today is, well, yesterday we got an RoV put back together after Ben sprayed it with underseal. And it's a newer model RoV. We don't work on them very often, to be fair. And they're oh, there goes the pie. We'll give it a couple minutes to settle. Compared to the older model, the 3-seater, there's a lot more time required to remove panels. Sound suppression was one of the main criteria in the design brief, and they are much quieter than many other RoVs on the market these days. Across the board, they are super quiet. They're really nice to drive, but there's plenty of panels that like overlay each other, and there's actually what I call the impossible bolt. There's a bolt that holds a panel on that you can't fit without, obviously you're trying to bolt the panel on, but you can't get around the back of the panel to fit the bolt. So you've got to sort of bend the panel a bit to try and get in to get the thread started, and then you've got to use a really long extension bar to tighten it up. You can do it, but if you didn't know it was there, or you're doing it for the first time, man, you'd be like, who the hell designed this? It's a bit like putting a starter motor inside the bell housing of a car's gearbox. It was just like, really? Honestly? And then there's another panel which has a little lug on it. It has like a right angle piece molded into the plastic with a hole that doesn't attach to anything. And it's a real pain to try and fit that part of the panel because you've got to bend other panels to get it to go in. And then it doesn't connect to anything anyway. So do you just cut it off? I didn't cut it off, but if it was my machine, that would be the first thing to go. But anyway, such is life. We got it done. It's all back together. We got it finished just after 5 o'clock yesterday. We didn't start till about lunchtime, to be fair, because we were doing other stuff. And it was a nice sunny morning, and we were all naked. We didn't want to do anything. And we kept putting off doing the job. And there was 3 of us. Ben helped as well till about 4 o'clock. So there was 3 of us working on it. Mrs. Mechanic was in charge of the inventory of nuts and bolts. She'd done a great job. As we'd stripped the thing down, she labelled everything up and put it all in that new multi-box thing that I got. And it worked really, really well. I mean, not 100%. We still made the odd cock up and put the wrong bolt in the wrong place. I did take loads of photos as well. But it was a bit difficult me trying to work out what I was doing, what bolts went where, because I've only done a couple before. And they're in time, they're well spaced out. So you forget, and I'm old, right? And then there was also Ben putting stuff on as well. So trying to keep an eye on what Ben was doing and what bolts he was putting where. It was like, oh, they're the wrong bolts, son. Take them back out, or you put push pins in where it should be bolts. And it wasn't his fault. He hadn't taken it apart. He didn't know. So, we just took it in our stride and got it finished. And luckily the underseal had a week to cure. So it was nice and dry. There was no sticky fingers and things. So it was good. So it's all done. It's parked under the carport. Now that it's off the stands and the wheels are back on, there's a couple of places underneath on the skid plate where we have pieces of wood on the axle stands, which I've then got to spray. I've just got to spray over those, and then it's all fully sealed up. And that's going to Hamilton on Tuesday. And it's going to be used by a marina, a boat place, a boat car park. A marina in Auckland has bought it. And that's why they wanted it undersealing. So protect, because it's going to be, I think it's a saltwater marina. So they've got to protect the vehicles. And it's probably, I wouldn't say it's going to be used for launch. No, I think they have too big of boats there for launching boats of that thing. They'll have a tractor for that. But it's going to be used maybe for patrol work. I don't know, security, general maintenance of the site. I don't know. As long as they don't drop it in the water off one of the jetties, they'll be all right, won't they? But yeah, they're a bit of a pain, to be honest. They really are. We're nearly there, and it's pie time. 47 minutes in. What the hell? Right. So for those that have just joined us, we're a bit down on numbers today because we had a bit of a problem with the live stream. The first one that I put up didn't work. It just disappeared. So I had to do another one. So this is the second live stream. So my apologies for those that have just found it now. I will delete the other one when I find it. Eventually after the live stream, so people don't go onto that one because there was nothing there. Ponsonby pies, steak and cheese pie in the best Clarkson voice possible. Steak and cheese on an steak and cheese pie, as he would say. 180 grams. Ponsonby pies, award-winning. Should be pretty good. And it's my favourite flavour as well. So thank you, Ben. Well done. Very grateful for that. I didn't think we actually had a pie for today, so bit of a surprise. Yep. Any more comments? Keep me going, people. I do run out of content sometimes, Right. I forgot the ashtray because I wasn't sure we were going to get any cigarettes. So bear with me. We'll get rid of that. All done. Okay, pie time. Ready? 3, 2, 1, boom! There we go. Dum, 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 dum. Ah. Right. Hang on. Morning, Lily. Lily just got married, for anybody who wants to know. Just got married. Congratulations, Lily. Tall girl, Lily. Good job. Excellent work. Right, here we go. The pie. Well, I can tell straight away we've got a bit of lid liftage going on. But other than that, it looks pretty damn good. Right, to the bench. I'm starving. Only clean place on the bench is the pie wrapper. So we'll stick it on there. Turn it around, 3, 2, 1, boom. There we go. Okay, right, I'm back. It's pretty cold today, actually. Okay, here we go. Quick spin round of the pie. So we know we've got an issue with the lid. We'll be careful with that. What's the carcass like? The main pie casing. Looks pretty good. Is it soft in the middle? It's a little bit soft in the middle at the base, but the base looks pretty intact. A bit of a cut there, though. That could prove a problem later on. We'll have to wait and see. So where do we start? Well, I think we'll start here, actually. Okay, we're going in. Are you ready? So this is a Ponsonby Pies steak and cheese pie. Right. Oh. Pretty hot. Oh. Nice. The first bite of a pie is normally pretty good anyway when you're hungry. Okay, another bite. Here we go. Just holding the lid down. Bit of pie management going on. Now, top tip. When eating a pie with puff pastry on top, don't breathe in as you've got the pie in your mouth. That will be really bad because it can suck across some of the little fragments of puff pastry and you can breathe them in. And then you cough like an idiot, which I've done before. So I've learnt my lesson. It's very tasty, actually, but the contents are pretty minimal. There's not a lot of content in there at the moment. Hopefully it's all piled up at one end. We'll wait and see. Okay, so, Simon, one of the best bits of summer, in a boat club, is driving the tractor down the beach. It's a vintage Fordson Dexter. Puts a big smile on my face. Oh, you get to launch boats, Simon. That's cool. Very cool. I'll tell you a story actually. One of my co-workers at work, obviously, he bought an old vintage tractor. Very nice machine. Spent maybe a year or so doing it all up, painting it, looked very nice. And he does launch his boat with it. And he hadn't used it for a while. And he jumped in it to start it. And unfortunately, it was in gear. Had his foot on the clutch, manual clutch, foot on the clutch, started it up. It fired up, but it was in gear. And the clutch friction plate had rusted to the flywheel. So, of course, said tractor now goes forwards. And it went through the wall of his garage. Yes, it caused quite a lot of destruction. And he was quite sad when he told us what had happened at the weekend. And to be perfectly honest, I couldn't stop myself laughing. I feel sorry for the guy. I'm very sorry that hopefully he didn't take any offense to it. But it was, most of the office staff all felt it was quite hilarious that his tractor had gone through a wall of his garage. And it's all fixed now, obviously, but it wasn't ideal. It wasn't ideal at all. Right, I need my pen. Okay, taste stroke flavour of the contents of the pie. Well, we've not had a lot of contents yet. I mean, as you can see, it's the lid's all flapped over. There really isn't very much in there. It's a bit underwhelming, to be fair. Well, here we go. Now, so far, no nice big chunks of meat either. So I'm going to give it a 5. I mean, this particular score doesn't rate the volume of contents. We've got a separate category for that. But the flavors of the content, it's all right. We've had a lot better. Okay, structure Foley partners. Well, it's borderline whether you'd eat this one in your car or not. There's a fair bit of flaky pastry coming off. The lid is detaching pretty quickly. Would I eat it in the car? Definitely not. It's definitely a two-handed pie. You couldn't drive whilst eating this pie. I wouldn't endorse that at all. Or eating of any pie, to be fair. But, you know, this one is going to leave a mess in your car. It is pretty hot, though. Okay. So, structure Foley partners. It's not bad, but it's not perfect. So I'm going to give them an 8. No, with the lid, I'm going to give them a 7. That might change. Okay, runnability test. You know the ropes. So 45 degrees, 30 seconds. It should pass this with flying colours. I can't really see any problems at all happening with this particular pie. We've got a nice little blob of meat here that might fall. Who knows? It might. Burning my thumb, by the way, because it is actually pretty damned hot on the inside. It's quite a thin pie, so the time it was in the pie one before, it would have, you know, taken on a lot of heat. It's definitely thoroughly cooked. There's no problems with that. So runnability is full marks. We'll give it 10 for that one. Now, meat quality. This is where this slither of meat that's inside the pie, it's pretty bad, isn't it, to be fair? It really is. Yeah. And it is only a 180 gram pie as well, which, you know, the meat's a lot heavier. The contents are a lot heavier than the pastry. And its weight is 20 grams down. So that speaks for, you know, for it really. It's more. It could almost be a mince pie, to be fair. All the pieces of meat are very, very small. I'm just going to lift that lid bit back up again for you so you can see. There really isn't any large chunks of meat at all. And I like proper chunks of steak in my steak pie. Meat quality, I think I would say there's a lot of filler in there mixed in with the gravy and stuff as well. So, I don't know. I'm going to give it I'm not in any gristle yet. I'll give it a 4 for now. That might be a little bit low. It might be. Right, pie. So this is the pastry to filling ratio. And as you can see, the cross section of the pie, we're almost halfway in. The cross section is, there's a lot more cross section of pastry by area than there is of filling. Probably about 65-70% pastry and 30-35% of filling, which is pretty poor. And, you know, pastry is cheap, meat's expensive, so you can see why they've done it, but it doesn't help them. Would I buy another one of these pies? I already know that I wouldn't. And it's a very distinctive packaging, so I know to stay clear of these pies. I'm quite surprised, actually, with Ponsonby pies. They've won plenty of awards in the past, but looking closely, the award was for the pastry, not for the contents of their pies. And, well, a lot of it is pastry. So, and the pastry tastes pretty good, to be fair. It's nice and crispy. It's flavoursome as a pastry, but we're not doing pastry. We're doing pie to crust ratio, which is pretty poor. So I'm going to give it a 3 on that one. Now you might say, Andy, you've been really harsh today on this pie, but you know, I think you'd find the same. I mean, the contents have all squidged across to one side now, but I think you'd probably, you know, I've got to be subjective about this, and in my opinion, 3 out of 10. There's not a lot in it. I'm probably going to still be hungry after this. Availability logistics. Well, this would have come from a supermarket, or an supermarket, as Clarkson would say. And so, therefore, you would be able to order it online. I don't see these in the dairies, the bakeries, little corner shops. I don't see these for sale. I don't really recognise the packaging. Maybe they've changed it recently and given it all colour-coded. And they are colour-coded, so depending on the flavour, depends on the colour of the packet, which is great. Makes it easy for selection when you go to the shop. But I won't be buying one of these pies again, so it's no use to me. So I haven't seen them around that much, which means they're not around that much. So, oh, that's a burp. Bear that in mind. I'm going to give them a 4. I don't think they're readily available. Obviously, you can get them in Ponsonby, which is in Auckland, but around the country, probably not. Who's it made by? Gourmet Foods Limited, Tauranga. So they're not even made in Auckland anymore. They're made in Tauranga, which is where I was last week. So maybe they're only really for sale in that area. Very strange. They must have bought maybe the Ponsonby Pies company went bust and they bought them out or something. I don't know. Look, there's hardly any meat at all in there. Wow. There's a bit more here now, though. Looking forward to that bit. Okay. Pastry taste rating. Well, This is their selling point. This is what they win awards for, the pastry. So I'm just going to break a bit of the lid off. In fact, I'm going to take the whole lid off. Look at that. Holy crap. All right, here we go. Crunchy. Well, to be fair, it just tastes like pastry. It really does. I need some meat. I do. Now, gristle. Gristle struck fat. And a big chunk. But not the right kind of chunk of meat. It was gristly. So meat quality has just lost on the mark. That's gone down to 3. I mean, it didn't taste bad, but it's not steak. It's gristle. Okay, so pastry taste rating. It was all right. I mean, it didn't have any weird aftertaste to it. I could be pretty, give them a 6 maybe. I'll give them a 6. I think I'm being quite generous with that 6. Now, still tasty when cold. Who knows? We'll find out. Packaging design. Well, it's very bright. It's very cheerful. It's very basic. It's something which I could knock together on Photoshop in probably about 5 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes, because obviously I've got to steal their logo and stuff. It is, I mean, you can see that in the light. It is perforated, so it can be warmed in a pie warmer, and that's hence it was warmed in a pie warmer. 1320 it went in. So it's perforated to allow the steam to come out so the pie doesn't get all soggy. Very important in the design. You can't see the pie though. They do tell you how small it is, 180 grams, which is very small. They give you heating instructions if it's thawed with the oven or pie warmer or using a microwave. Never doing a pie in a microwave. No. Okay, heating with pros. There's a lot of cooking instructions. Safety warning: do not reheat for a second time. That's exactly what we've done. Storage. The rest of it, I cannot. Oh, there we go. Look, we bend that across there. Steak and cheese pie. Information, ingredients. Grated cheese. Yeah, we've not really seen much cheese in there either, have we? To be fair. Okay, well, there is a fair bit of information on there. What's it worth as regards a score? I think a 6. I think a 6 is fair. We'll pang the 6 down there. So packaging design 6. Recyclable score. Well, I think it is plastic lined. Bear with me, Cord. It is most definitely plastic lined. Can you see a sheen on there? Look, there's definitely plastic on the inside of the paper. So it's not recyclable. And of course, there is no symbols of recyclableness. In fact, there's no instructions on how to dispose of the packaging at all. So it's not recyclable. They get a big fat 0 on that one because they don't tell us what to do, with the packet anyway. Post pie heartburn. We've had a 1 burp so far, so I feel pretty good. They're down to 9 on that. That might well change. Okay, stuffability score. Well, we won't find that out until I eat all of it. It has cooled down somewhat. It's not cold. It really is a mince pie. It really is. We're near the end, and the only reasonable sized chunk of meat we've had was a big chunk of gristle or fat or something. Right, last piece. Here we go. It's all right. It's nothing to write home about, though. It really isn't. Do I feel stuffed? No. I'm still below that 10. I'm not overstuffed, so I'm heading up towards the 10. I could probably still eat a piece of toast. A nice buttered toast would be good. I'm going to give it an 8. I think 8 is being very, very generous, to be fair. I'm going to give them an 8. My pen is running out, unfortunately. Okay, pie server attractiveness. Well, we know that these didn't come from Ponsonby. If it had come from Ponsonby, Ponsonby being one of the suburbs of Auckland, Ponsonby's quite a posh area. It will be full of very attractive young ladies, I'm sure. In my dreams, you all say. Anyway, but it didn't. It came from Tauranga. Tauranga's not a bad spot, but it's not Auckland. I'm going to give them, and I have to summarise now because, you know, I didn't see who served Ben. I'm just going to give them a 5. I think, well, yes, I'll give them a 5 because we just don't know. So middle of the road, 5. I'll contact Ben and find out. And if that changes the score, we'll change it, but it probably won't. Oh, another burp. Right, we're down to 8 with that one then. Okay, one last score to go, which is still tasty when cold. Well, I didn't taste any cheese in that steak and cheese pie. Would it be okay cold? I think you'd eat it. If I found it in my glove box 2 days old, I would probably still eat it, to be fair, but it wouldn't be great. It wouldn't be, wow, this is just as good cold as it is hot. I'll give them a 6. I think it would, no, I'll give them a 5. I'll give them a 5. It's pretty low scores today. Maybe it's because I'm just pissed off about YouTube and the live stream, to be fair, but anyway, we will see. Right, we'll stick that over there. Get rid of all the shrapnel. And now we have some arithmetic to do. Okay, right, your turn to help. Turn you around, 3, 2, 1, boom. This is where you get to double check my arithmetic. I used to do lots of marking as a lecturer, and usually down at the pub. So students would often get many, many more points than they should do, really. But anyway, that's just the way it went. Lucky for them. Okay, so 12, 22, 25, 28, 32, 38, 43, 49, nothing, so still 49, 57, 65, 70. They get a fat 70, which is not very good overall. So double check the arithmetic. Dum dum dum. There you go. Look, give you all the scores. I get 70. Let me know if I'm wrong. And then we'll get this done and we'll get back to the comments because I can see Peter Swapman down there. And Kavorka Designs. Right, so this is a Ponsonby Pies with my crappy pen. I need to buy a new pen. And we've nearly run out of these magnetic strips, to be fair, as well. Need to order some more of those. Steak and cheese. Oh my word, I've got some grease on there as well, look. Steak and cheese. Big fat steak. I reckon I've got a cold, actually. Had a bit of a headache yesterday. Bit snivelly today. Okay. So small. It was small. It had no chunks. No meat chunks. Okay. Not good. Right. So 70. Where's that going to end up on the board? I have no idea. A long way down, I imagine. Right, let's just sort the camera out. Boom, there we go. And we're off. Right. Dum 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 dum. Ponsonby Pies, steak and cheese. Never to be eaten again. Ben would eat it. He eats anything, but Holy crap, we're on the side. 83, 79, 74, 70. There we are, look. Right, so just stick. Lily, you look after that for a second for us. And we need to make some more space. There we go. So really, it's on the side of shame. Ponsonby pies, steak and cheese, equally as good or as bad as Irvin's 6-pack steak and cheese. That's bad. To think that a Ponsonby pie is only as good as another manufacturer's 6-pack of pies, which are usually lower quality than a single pie because they're super cheap. Not impressed, Ponsonby pies. You need to sort yourselves out. With that kind of a name, it should be good. So we've done a lot of pies over the years. And well, the good news is my shirt does still just fit, but only just. I'm sure Mrs. Mechanic soon will be banning me from pies. I don't eat as many as I eat. Well, that's wrong, actually. I do. I do eat as many as I used to eat. Especially when I'm on the road. Pie is the go-to hunger fix, isn't it? Right, turn you around. Sort that out. There we go. Okay, we are 1 hour and 11 minutes in, which means we've got not much longer to go, and I've got lots of work to do. So let's finish off the comments. One more cigarettes. Now we've got cigarettes. Might as well make the most of them. There we go. Well done, Mrs. Mechanic. You're a saviour. Oh, sorry. Bad for the camera. Had to get rid of that. It definitely got cold. There's no doubt about it. I have definitely got a bit of a snivel going on. Right. Okay, Carvoca Designs. Add maple syrup. Look like it's made for it. Lol. Maple syrup on a pie? Really? Holy crap, never tried that before. Very much like an Eggo. Huh. I suppose an Eggo, is that a bit like a caramel, a Cadbury's cream egg? Is that the kind of stuff you're on about? Eggo? What's Eggo? I don't know what Eggo is. Eggo. Eggo waffles. Eggo bunch in a jar. Eggos. Oh, Eggos. Oh, it's a waffle thing. Okay, there you go, look. Eggos. Interesting. Didn't even know. Eggo is a brand of frozen waffles owned by Kelnuvergia and sold in North America. Several varieties are available, including home style, miniature cherry. Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. Eggos. It was pretty slim, wasn't it, to be fair? And there was a lot of pastry and not a lot of contents. And the only chunk of meat was actually not meat. It was a big chunk of gristle. We're on a slant. Hang on. That's better. Okay. Right. Peter, sorry for the delay. Peter Swatman. Old David Brown. Well done, Clarkson. Old David Brown that I have access to has hydraulically locked. Now have to try and remove injectors from a 60-ish year old tractor. Well, good luck with that. To be fair, we used to have some old Daihatsu 4-tracks that I had to pull the injectors out of every now and again. They were a mechanically actuated diesel injector, like what you're going to be dealing with there. And I'd actually never had any real problems getting them out. They seem to come out pretty fine, and they would have been in for a long time, but not that long. That's a very long time. So, good luck. Simon, banned from pies. Next to find the best sausage roll in New Zealand. I think you could be right, Simon. If I do get banned from pies, we'll have to sidestep the sausage rolls. I'm not looking forward to it because most sausage rolls here in New Zealand are completely different to English sausage rolls, and they have things like peas in them and carrots and other vegetables which have no place in a sausage roll in my book. But anyway, we will see. I will obviously continue with the resistance of ceasing the pie studies. I think it's very important for viewers that we continue with that study, and I like pies. There's no doubt about pies and cider are great. It looked dry. No, it didn't really taste dry. It might have looked dry. There was no sheen on the meat. You're right there. It was all very matte finish stuff, but it wasn't dry for a pie. It was okay. Jim Haynes, most injectors usually come out unless they need special pullers. Yeah, I say I've not had to use one yet. I mean, I've not done lots of diesels. I mean, we had the old Unimog. We had some old Daihatsus. We had lots of patrols. Never had to pull an injector on a patrol, ever. They've always been the old 3.3s, perfect. The one outside that we've got here that came from the UK, 4.2, never had to pull injectors out. I mean, they probably could do with taking out and servicing and new nozzles and recalibrating again, you know, so you set the pressure point that it opens, and flow checks and stuff, but never done it. The vehicle doesn't get used on the road anymore anyway, and it won't even start. It's got a flat battery, and it needs the clutch things, the clutch slave cylinder replacing because it's leaked all its clutch fluid out. It's in a poor state at the moment, and it's very, very rusty, and it's probably never going to go back on the road, which is really sad because I really like that truck. I've got a lot of fond memories with it, which is why I've not sold it, and it will never get sold. It's just, I sit it down again, and I will fix the clutch so I can move it around, and it's just the smell and the feel of the seat, and it just reminds me of home, England, you know. And for that, it's invaluable. And it's a cool truck, and it's never let me down. Not when it was on the road. We asked a lot of that truck, and it did everything we asked of it. Simon, Peter Swatman, soak them in diesel for a few days. Good idea. That'll help clean them off a little bit and just soak down the threads. So, for those that have recently joined us, I don't know how many there are, but we're 15 now. Oh, come on, we're still 2 thumbs up short. You guys can click on a thumbs up, I'm sure. So for the rest of today, because we're going to be coming to the end of the live stream shortly, I've got one last RoV here, which has been here for nearly 5 months, waiting for a replacement tray to arrive from the US. They were on back order, and then they went in a container, and they took the slow. So obviously, you went around the planet a few times. Very slow ship to New Zealand, and they came into stock about a week ago. So it's here. Got the old tray. Got to swap a few bits and pieces across. I'm not going to underseal the tray, and the reason for that is this machine is getting sold as soon as it goes back. It's not to be. I've told them it's not to go back into service. It's a little bit crusty on the chassis, and it just needs to be sold. They need to get themselves a new one. Simple as that. It's way overdue for being replaced. And with a new tray, it'll look nice when they come to sell it. It doesn't look bad. The wheels are a bit rusty, but again, I'm not painting those. That they might wire brush them and paint them if they want. But all they're doing is hiding what's worse further in. You know, it's probably if you went to like a what we call a lifestyle block over here, a small farm with a few acres. Not even a farm. They have a few sheepies and stuff, and they use an RoV every now and again just to take out the straw and things. Very light work. It might last another few years, but it's getting close to the end of its life. Maybe another 3 years if they're lucky, I think, really, as a viable vehicle. So I've got that tray to fix. I've got the doors to put back on again. There's a new latch to go on one of the doors because all that was corroded up. And one of the seats, there's 3 seats. The middle seat, there's a bar at the back of the seat on the base that holds the seat cushion. It hooks into it. That bar's completely rotted away, so I've got to find a new bit of bar. I've got some over there that I think is the right size. Weld that in, spray it up, bolt it all together, and ship it. It's going to, as Eric O would say, ship it. It's got to go. Don't want it here any longer. They need it back. It's had a new exhaust on it as well. That had rotted out. They spent a lot of money on it, and they're probably only going to get for the whole machine what they spent fixing it. So another lesson learned, don't keep them on your fleet. If you're a surf club, don't keep them on your fleet for 5 years. It's not good. It just costs you in the end. And I've told them that time and time again. I mean, ideally, a 2-year cycle, and then you can sell it because they come with a 3-year warranty. Sell it after the 2nd year. You can sell it with a year's warranty. They still look really good with the undersealing and everything after 2 years. And then it'll then be taken away from the beach, work on a farm, and it'll last just as long as any other, I think. The underseal that we use now is from Forge, and it's really good stuff. It's basically the same as the 3M product that we used to use. We don't get it free anymore. That sponsorship deal has ceased. Obviously, things are tightening up. Companies are not making quite the kind of money they used to do. And the main difference between the Forge and the 3M stuff is we've found that the Forge under seal dries a lot quicker. It was touch dry within a few hours, which was brilliant. The 3M stuff takes a couple of days before it gets touch dry in most cases. So it's a positive move to the Forge. I'm very happy with it. And if we have any more to do in the future, which we probably will, then we'll be using Forge from now on. I think the Forge spray, which comes all the way from Germany, by the way. So hopefully we'll get finished probably mid-afternoon. That's the plan, and then we can have a bit of a relaxing afternoon, maybe play a game or something, and then we'll watch a movie tonight. I think we've not watched a movie for a few weeks, so movie time, I think, be good, be nice, relaxing, and then at home tomorrow doing admin work. So that'd be nice as well. A bit more relaxing for me rather than charging around the country like an idiot. Right, crew, the cigarette is over. If there's no more comments, we are going to bring this live stream to an end. Again, my sincere apologies about the cock-up this morning regarding the fictitious live stream that started, and then I couldn't trigger it to get it going. It wouldn't finish its cycle and come up with the go live screen. So I aborted that and started a fresh one. That's why we ran a little bit late starting. So my sincere apologies for that and for any confusion caused because of it. I'll be back here again in a couple of weeks. There might be a video go out before then. We'll have to wait and see if I can get a chance to film on Friday. So watch this space. Thank you all for your support. It is very much appreciated, whether it's financial through PayPal or Patreon as well. You can do that. And just for all the items that have been sent over the years as well. Jim Haynes, really appreciate the tools that you sent across. We've still got them here. And I use the ratchets on a regular basis. So a real addition to the workshop. Thank you. Those long reach ratchets. Very, very cool. Okay, crew. Simon, again, thank you for all the stuff that you sent across. Brilliant, mate. I really appreciate it. I really, really do. And Mrs. Mechanic is still putting together a parcel to send back to you. She's just planning what she's going to put in there for you. Okay, crew. Until next time, I will see you for another live stream, hopefully, in a couple of weeks, 8:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Cheers, crew. Until then, over and out. It's on this side. There we go. Boom.